Hello everybody and welcome to your Sunday race preview, filmed on the Saturday evening before the Grand Prix for the 2020 Portuguese Grand Prix. Now the reason we're filming this on the Saturday and very much so before the Grand Prix is because we are live this weekend and we thought, well, we don't really want to have to film two shows and put them out on the same day when we have to do the pre-race recording as well. So you're going to have to put up with us for just a little bit longer, I'm afraid, and get used to what we're seeing as well. But today's qualifying was very much exciting, and as you're seeing this as your Sunday race preview, it was thrilling. Let's take a quick look at the drivers and the Constructors' Championship coming into this round 12.
Formula One heads back to Portugal for the first time since 1996. We're at the circuit of the Algarve in Portimao. Just 6 races remain then on this redesigned 2020 calendar. We're in the middle of a run which takes us to Grand Prix that either have never been on the calendar or haven't been for many years. This weekend the Portuguese Grand Prix. Next week a 2-day event at Imola for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Then we take a break before Turkey rejoins for the first time since 2011. And then in late November, we're in Bahrain. A week later on the outer course for the Sakhir Grand Prix. And the season rounds out on the 13th of December in Abu Dhabi. Lewis Hamilton leads the Drivers' Championship by 69 points after Valtteri Bottas failed to finish last weekend's Eiffel Grand Prix. He's now in a battle with Max Verstappen. In terms of the midfield teams, a podium for Daniel Ricciardo has promoted him to 4th place. The battle between him, Perez, Norris, Albon, Leclerc and Stroll and Gasly is still very much up for grabs. On the second half of the page, the battle could still include Carlos Sainz, only 2 points away from Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon in sort of on a midfield battle of his own, Sebastian Vettel just 17 points to his name, failing to score last time out in Eiffel as well. From Dani Kvyat and Nico Hülkenberg now on 10 points, Giovinazzi 3, Raikkonen on 2, the same as Romain Grosjean, who has finally scored points this year. No points on the board still though for Nicholas Latifi or George Russell. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes could wrap it up this weekend if Red Bull score no points. Racing Point versus McLaren and Renault, the battle to watch for over 3rd place. Ferrari sort of on their own on 80 points. The same could be said for AlphaTauri on 67, Alfa Romeo on 5, Haas on 3 and Williams on 0.
A fantastic racetrack then here for the Algarve. Let's take a quick look around then on Lap Attack with the James Hinchcliffe's IndyCar from 2018 with the Project Cars game.
Let's take a look at the Autodromo Internacional de Algarve, or Domínio Portimão in Portugal. The first time the race has been held here for Formula One and the first time in Portugal since 1996. Riding on board in IndyCar with James Hinchcliffe down towards turn number 1. A quick flick to the right before a longer little straight to turn 2 and turn 3. Heavy on the brakes as you begin to go uphill now. Control the wheel of the slide coming out. A blind apex to turn 4 as you run down to the very long hairpin. Turn number 5 past the hotel on your left. Downhill braking zone. Be careful not to unload the front left tyre and lock up. Run deep into the hairpin, get a good exit speed as you run up now towards the kink at turn 7. Double apex right now for turn 7 and 8. Quite similar to what we see at turn 1 and 2. Easy to have the car understeer. Uphill now towards turn number 8. It's a quick kick to the left hand side. Another blind apex before turn 10 and 11. Hard now on the brakes into double barrel corner. Drop down the hill towards turns 12 and 13 on the track. Again, it is double barreled, hard to see with a blind apex. Hug the inside line. Now you can get the power on as you drop downhill through the last corner on the track. Full throttle, full power, uphill now. The long drag, the only DRS detection zone on the track. Full power, fling the car to the right and hope for the best as you're onto the start-finish straight, long in the DRS zone and across the line to complete the lap of Portimao or the Circuit of the Algarve.
So let's get straight into the qualifying report then for the 2020 Portuguese Grand Prix. And as ever, we'll start off with the first part of qualifying. Mercedes easily cruising through in the end. It was delayed, though, by half an hour. The track damage caused by Sebastian Vettel's Ferrari, the loose drain cover at the last corner, caused a half-hour delay while they filled it full of cement, just to make sure nothing else came up. However, several other drain covers came up as they were checking. Thankfully, though, the session was only delayed by half an hour, and we eventually got green. First of all, most of the field wasted no time heading back out onto the track as well. Mercedes waited just a couple of minutes to see where the car would stand. Bottas went fastest overall. Hamilton backed out of his run at turn 13 as well, and went up into second place on his second tour. Verstappen cooled down laps as well for another push lap. Hamilton improved to go quickest, just 500ths ahead of Verstappen. The duo both having 6 down laps on their board going forward. Vettel, a lot for him in that session as well. Time deleted for exceeding track limits, but did what was required. Russell improved at the last second to get through into Q2, but out of the session went Alfa Romeo of Kimi Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi. The two Haas cars, Romain Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen, and Nicholas Latifi also get eliminated from the first part of qualifying. On to the second part then of qualifying. Valtteri Bottas again on top, beating Hamilton. But Vettel starts 15th on the grid. A shocking performance from Sebastian Vettel in qualifying. Absolutely ridiculous. But Bottas kept the grip as well. Ferrari and Mercedes starting on the medium compound tyre. That was a very brave choice to go on as well. Ferrari, it seemed the strategy for Leclerc, but Vettel just couldn't get the car working in the low grip conditions and struggled and was back in 15th place as well. Russell in 14th, out qualifying the Ferrari. Great job from Williams. Esteban Ocon as well eliminated along with Lance Stroll and Danny Kvyat. But it was a strange incident for Ocon's teammate, Danny Ricciardo. Coming into turn 13 at the top of the hill, Ocon got out of the way. Ricciardo went too high and too wide, lost the rear, spun and hit the wall, damaging his rear wing. He would struggle to get out in the next part of qualifying. So, eliminated in that session was Ocon, Stroll, Kvyat, Russell and Vettel. Moving on then to qualifying number 3, Hamilton, for his 97th career pole position, really delivers when it matters. Bottas had the advantage early on, but Hamilton on the last lap managed to deliver a perfect third sector to get pole position. A 1:16.652 was the pole time. Bottas was second, from Verstappen in third, impressing everybody. Leclerc, a very high 4th place. That is brilliant news for Leclerc and Ferrari as they try and chase down a 20-point gap to try and bit third in the Constructors' Championship with 4 races to go after tomorrow. Perez 5th, Albon 6th, Sainz and Norris 7th and 8th, Gasly 9th, and Daniel Ricciardo not setting a time on the board, couldn't get out of the track due to that rear problem he had in qualifying 2 where he damaged the rear wing. He will start 10th on the grid. So here's how they line up on the grid then as it currently stands for today's race. Lewis Hamilton on pole position for the 97th time. Alongside him is Valtteri Bottas on the first row. Followed down, you see Max Verstappen 3rd, 4th for Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez 5th, Alexander Albon is 6th, Carlos Sainz 7th, Lando Norris 8th, Pierre Gasly 9th, and Daniel Ricciardo rounds out the top 10, not setting a time there in Q3 as I mentioned. Esteban Ocon 11th from Lance Stroll, 12th, 13th for Danny Kvyat, 14th George Russell, 15th Sebastian Vettel, 16th for Kimi Raikkonen, 17th for Antonio Giovinazzi, 18th Romain Grosjean, 19th Kevin Magnussen, and Nicholas Latifi starts in 20th place. The race show gets underway at 12:30 UK time here on YouTube. That's in a couple of hours. So, hope you're enjoying us there. Well, I'm off to bed now because we're filming this on the Sunday. Sorry, we're filming on the Saturday evening for Sunday broadcast. So that's why I'm about to change clothes like a genie going into later on. But hopefully you've had a good night. Hopefully you had a good morning. Join us 12:30 UK time for all of the action in watch-along coverage of the Portuguese Grand Prix. Hamilton versus Bottas down to turn 1. It's going to be very exciting. From us all here, though, thanks for joining us today and tomorrow. Bye for now.